There was stuff on my first show that I would not say now. Don't Google it.
If you could build the dream unhinged couch. Graham Norton, welcome to CelebriTea. This is the show where we spill the tea on your career while we enjoy a delicious cup of tea.
Lovely.
So before we get into your career stuff, how do you drink the perfect cup of tea?
Well, now, already...
Bad start.
Well, I wouldn't have the bag in the cup. Is that a thing?
That's just chance. Yeah.
Normally, I would just pour the water over the bag and then dunk it a bit, not for long, and then take it out. Some people leave the bag in.
Yes.
Which seems gross.
Milk, oat milk.
I would take milk.
Yep.
I couldn't drink black tea, I don't think. Do you want some tea?
I'll have some tea.
Yeah, go on.
Very kind of you. I do genuinely have so many questions for you today because you are the pinnacle of celebrity interviewers. Like, every single person I chat to who does these interviews is like, oh, what's your dream type show? Everyone says the Graham Norton show.
Oh,
Everyone
really?
wants to do the type of thing that you're doing, and you do it so well.
Oh, wow.
So as an interviewer myself, like, it's genuinely an honor to get to be here today.
Oh, well, I'll be dead soon, so yeah.
No, don't say that. So obviously something you're so good about doing is getting incredible stories from celebrities. But I also know that things have to go through lots of rounds of approvals, right? We have PR reps, managers, studio reps, network execs, whatever it is. So I really am curious on how much is like sent in as PR approved, how much is actually like they actually are surprised by the story you're bringing up. What's that balance?
They're only surprised by the story on the show if that's what they want.
Okay.
You know, some people don't want to be briefed, but other people will know.
Yes.
Like their team will know. So the team won't freak out when I bring up a story. Honestly, I prefer that they've been reminded of the story before the show.
Yes.
Because sometimes you say something and they look at you really blankly like, I don't think I've ever been in Rome. And you're like, yes, you were. And a really funny thing happened outside the Colosseum, but they can't remember. So it's much better if you jog the memory, because my team, what they're so brilliant at, once somebody's booked, they will troll through every print interview they've ever done, listen to all the podcasts they've been on, they'll watch commencement addresses they gave in college years ago. They'll do, all of that. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
You're looking for the story that hasn't been told too often.
Right.
You're looking for a story that's being told kind of fresh for the first time. So that's what you want. Occasionally we know we're pushing it, where you kind of think, oh, this story does involve them drunk driving, or this involves them killing a cat. So they may not want to tell this story.
Right.
But so long as you frame it like that, we found this funny. I don't know if you still find it funny, but if you did, could you tell that story? We don't want to force people to do something they're uncomfortable with.
Of course.
And also, it's got to the point now where sometimes people will arrive saying, oh, I've saved you a story.
Nice.
I thought, when this happened, I thought, oh, I'm going to wait and I'll tell that on Graham Norton the next time I'm on.
The finding the story that hasn't been told yet thing is so interesting to me, because we are kind of in this world of media training and PR answers. There's a fresh class of people that are coming out that aren't so much, but what is it like when you are kind of hearing this Lady Gaga, 100 people in a room story, or the Madame Morrible M Wicked Witch story? Like, we want the fresh thing that hasn't been said 100 times.
Yeah, but equally, it's hard for them. They're on a junket.
Of course.
With a fresh story, I think where I'm lucky is because they're telling that story on a couch with other people.
Yeah.
Even a story they have told before might spark something in someone else, or someone else will ask a follow-up question, or they'll come up with something. So hopefully in that context of being with their peers on a couch, more will happen with the story. And often, if it's really, they've told it 1,000 times, we will let them tell it, and then we'll just cut it out. So everyone's happy.
Power of the edit. Obviously, your show is also very famous for the random mix of people that kind of come together, which is amazing. Do you have like an ideal trope of person you want combined together?
You always want a big Hollywood star.
Right.
That's the dream booking. You want that big marquee name.
Right.
It is often really useful to have a comic
Yeah.
on. And then the others are kind of up for grabs. Personally, I like someone who can do something.
Right.
Like if we have a sports person on, the rest of the couch are so interested in
Yeah.
someone who can kick a ball or run fast. Because I know nothing about sport, I enjoy interviewing sports people.
Right.
Because I'm...
Genuine questions.
These are proper questions. How the hell could you be bothered to do that?
Right.
Cycling. And also, if somebody has been on the show a few times, you start to know, one, where they like to be on the couch.
Ooh, placement-wise.
Placement-wise. Like, they'd prefer to be sandwiched. They're going to be more comfortable there. They'd like to sit next to a young person. They'd like to sit next to a funny person. They'd like, all of that. So, and you realize that you'll get more out of them that way.
Yeah. Have you ever had a combination of people where you're like, oh God, this isn't going to work?
That's most weeks.
Really?
Most weeks. Most weeks. Because you're taking a punt. It's very rare, but sometimes you'll have someone who's literally been on the show with someone before. And you think, what are the chances of that? Normally, it's a lineup that they have never been in that particular recipe.
Right.
All the ingredients have been there before, but not in that recipe. And you never know how it's going to come out of the oven. Is it going to be, a delicious thing?
Right.
Or it's like, ooh, it's always a gamble. I started doing chat shows back in 98. And I think it's why all these years later, I still enjoy the job. And I'm still interested. When I sit in my chair and that couch settles, there's always that moment of like, what's this one going to be like? You don't know. And the audience, I think, feel the same thing. I hope, they're kind of like, I hope it's a good one.
Yeah.
This sort of interview is much harder because one, there's only me,
right,
and two, there's not an audience. If I decided that, I could be horrible,
right,
because
which you're not, thank God, but it's happened.
But you must have encountered that where they don't try so hard. Whereas I think on my show, because they are sat with people who they respect, hopefully, or might think I'd like to work with them at some point, they're going to try a bit harder.
Right.
And also, the wanting to be liked gene is quite strong. So they don't want to appear to be an ass in front of an audience.
I liked an interview that you did about the gay gene and the wanting to be liked gene and how that makes us good at asking questions and storytelling and stuff like that, because...
And also, I think I think that there is something about growing up gay where you're constantly assessing situations and constantly kind of, am I fitting in, am I not fitting in, should I play low status or high status? I think gay men are more attuned to all of that.
Always adapting based on who's around, so it kind of works.
Yeah.
So obviously, your chat show, not the only thing you've ever done, of course.
No.
When I first moved to London, I had never heard of this thing called Eurovision in 2017.
Okay.
My coworkers in my office, when they found that out, they were like, Jeff, you are going to be obsessed. And they were very, very correct. I love it. You started doing it because you're genuinely a fan of it, right?
Oh, yeah, I love Eurovision,
Yeah. You're also very well known for the commentary, like sassy but true. So where's the line between not wanting to be mean, but still being funny and with that edge?
It is a really thin line.
Yeah.
And because it's, goes for about 4 hours and it's live, that danger of stepping over that line is huge because there's no safety net.
Right.
If I say it, now it's been broadcast on BBC One on Saturday night. Some of the stuff I'll have been watching rehearsals and I think, oh, that's a funny comment, I can do that. Even on the night though, maybe the performer seems a bit vulnerable or the audience aren't loving it. So you just think, oh, actually, I need to rein that in. I can't, you don't want to kick a person when they're down. The good years are when the production is really bad. But of course, now the production standard is so high every year.
Yeah.
I mean, they always have just phenomenal lighting. The only thing where they let it down is those interval acts are sometimes, a mystery to behold. Right. So there's funny to be had there. But it is a scary job because it's a lot of live telly.
And you're having to assess in the moment, is this going to push it too far or...
Yeah. And also, the world has changed. I started doing it 15 years ago, something like that, maybe more. And, there was stuff that I was saying on my first show that I would not say now. Yeah. Don't Google it.
Yeah, well, obviously we're going to. Yeah. And also, I can't sit here and not chat about Drag Race. I am such a Drag Race fan as well. The fandom of Drag Race is pretty clued into some production secrets and how the show is filmed. We figured a lot out over the years. Yeah. But is there one specific thing that you think kind of being behind the scenes might surprise fans?
I mean, everyone knows about the multiple endings, right?
Yes.
I mean, what's weird is when I watch it, I was there.
Yeah.
I know this is fake.
Yeah.
I know that they don't know that they've won.
Yeah.
As a viewer, I big grin on my face. I'm like, oh, that's so great. And it's like, they didn't win.
I know. It's when they're like actually breaking down crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, but these are fake tears. But drag queens have said, like, it feels so real in the moment. The competitions have been so intense that getting the crown on their head feels real.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I mean, and the weird thing for me is because there's such a long gap between filming it and seeing it, I genuinely watch that show. I don't remember who gets sent home.
Yeah.
Occasionally, if something really dramatic happens, I'll be watching and going, ooh, this is the one when, you know, there's that. But I never see them out of drag. So all the confessionals, all the workroom stuff, I don't see any of that. I literally just see what's on the main stage. So often ones I really didn't care about, didn't really like them very much. When I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're fantastic. I love them. They're so funny. They're great. They're really appealing. Or other ones that I really liked, I'm thinking, not sure now.
You're like, wow, he's actually really fit out of drag too.
Well, there's that, yeah.
And of course, the reason we're here today, Neighbourhood. So you must be asked to present lots of shows, if not every show that's ever piloted. What made this one to say yes to?
You know what? You're right. I do get asked to do a lot of things. And often when you go into that initial meeting where they're telling you about a new show, they always describe it in terms of other shows.
I figured that, yeah.
You know, so it's Deal or No Deal meets First Dates.
Yeah.
Or it's, you know, Love is Blind meets something else. And your heart always slightly sinks because you kind of think, I don't want to host something that's just a pale imitation or whatever. And what I loved about this was I haven't seen that before. I loved the ambition of it, the scale of it, because it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they take over a real neighborhood. It's a proper close of houses, and they move in these 6 existing households. And as they were describing the challenges and the fact that they're filming these households 24/7, I just thought, I'm going to watch that. I am so going to watch that. So I thought, annoyingly, I'm going to say yes to this. So I got to spend a month up in Derbyshire, which, like you, I came to this country, discovered London. I thought, well, this'll do. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
I know nothing about the rest of this country. Derbyshire's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Nice. Well, yeah, very, very excited for everyone to see it. And of course, not just on TV, but a best-selling author multiple times. I find this connection really interesting because as a job on TV, you ask people to share their stories, but then you also clearly like writing stories as well. So do you see this connection with storytelling?
I mean, stories are the thing that kind of link everything I do. You know, whether it's books, whether it's the chat show, whether it's the neighborhood, it's stories playing out, whether in real time or whether people are telling them. The books, I'd always wanted to write. And then it was when I turned 50, I thought I should either never mention wanting to write a book again or write a book. So I wrote a novel, didn't know if I could. I enjoyed the first one, and now I'm writing, I think, my 6th novel. I'm writing my 6th at the moment. What I like about it is that it's the only thing I do that doesn't involve meetings. You know, it's a solitary thing.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else I do, you know, like it's called The Graham Norton Show, but actually lots of other people are making decisions and having input. But with the books, it's all me. If they either succeed or fail on me.
Well, sadly, we are going to have to wrap after this final question. We'll have to ask if you could build the dream unhinged couch, the people that make you laugh the most, who are you booking?
Ooh, who will I have? I mean, you have to have a big star, like a Tom Hanks or something, so I'll pop Tom on. If I'm being greedy, I'll put Julia Roberts on there too. And then Miriam Margolyes.
100%.
She has to be on there. And then down the end, like a Greg Davies, a Lee Mack, Sarah Millican, and then music. Oh, we'll have Taylor for music.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for my
Cheers,
tea.
Of course. And congratulations on the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I actually drank some tea.
Yeah, I was too...
You ate tea?
No, I had too much to chat to you about.